true.
right? But also, if you think of the history of Australia, how colonization worked in Australia,
Mm.
the fact that, when the British came, pretty much assumed that the indigenous people were not humans.
Mm.
Didn't count them in the census until very late in history.
Mm.
That has an impact. The
Very much
history makes an
so.
impact on the systems and the structures that we put into place. If you also think that Australia had a white policy until
Absolutely.
very recently,
In
right?
the 70s, I think it was abolished or
Yeah,
scrapped.
70s, that's not long ago,
No, 50 years.
right? 50 years where you could only come here as a migrant if you were white.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those things carry along in the system and the structures of Australia.
Yeah.
And I think there is a lot of good work being done.
A lot, a lot of
Excuse me.
work to do in the system in
You
that.
know what? The Human Rights Commission is doing great work. The Departments of Educations are in some states, not in every state, are doing great work. But you know what? This racism wasn't born overnight, so it's not gonna be erased overnight.
No,
It's a
no.
marathon. It's gonna take a long time, and it will take probably another generation to make it happen. But I think it's doable. I think we need to keep talking about it. We need to keep educating people about it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we have to keep reflecting ourselves. I still find myself saying things that I will go, oh, that does not sound like it's right. We
True.
all grew up in South America. There's a lot of phrases and things that we used to say growing up that now I think, wow, that was a very racist comment.
Yes, yes. I
Right?
appreciate that that we heard when we were children from our families and
Yeah.
so on, and here we are in a multicultural country where we have at times been recipient or some sort of
Yes.
discrimination, and
Well,
that's where we use a lot of that emotional intelligence that you teach and I teach as well to overcome in a positive way. But I want us to close very shortly with your final words, and I want to ask you if you could give us a piece of advice for to any Latin American woman or Latin American person at a career crossroads today, what would it be?
oh, that's hard. But
It
well,
is.
I think my number one advice is always, always will be find others. Like get rid of that solo mentality that you mentioned. If you are at a crossroad, you're not sure what you're doing, you're not feeling like you belong, you're feeling like you don't know what's next. Connect with others.
Mm,
Find your tribe.
mm.
Find your tribe. Find people that will support you moving forward. Don't stay with people who are pulling you down. Find people that are gonna push you forward, that are gonna help you with a network, with emotional support, with tools, with coaching, with anything that you might need. Sometimes you just need a hug, whatever. There's plenty of people that are ready to help. So find your tribe, build your tribe. You don't need to
Exactly.
wait to
Build it.
find one. Build it.
Yes, build it.
Build it.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people that are going to help you achieve what you want. And don't wait to be ready. No one's ready. That's
Exactly.
another, statistics show that men apply for jobs even when they only meet 50% of the criteria, and women will not apply for a job unless they meet 100% of the criteria.
Yes, exactly right.
Don't. Yeah, exactly. So don't wait to be ready. Build your tribe and keep, I always talk to a friend of mine about this. Keep dancing that dance that is one step out of your comfort zone, one step back to recover. Another step out of your comfort zone, another step down to recover. Like you want to go in and out, in and out, in and out. And in that in and out, you keep growing, you keep getting stronger, you keep building experiences,
I
right?
love that analogy of the dance because that is like cha-cha-cha, right?
And we love dance in the Latin, so that's what we need to do. Dance in, dance out, dance in, dance out.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, I have loved this conversation. You have provided us with enormous gems, not only about you as a leader, as a woman, cross-cultural uh, person that, with all this view of the world that has shaped who you are today, and also how you impart your programs, which are so rich. It has a contained richness of what you want the world to be. So you're not waiting for the world to change. You're also changing it through your education programs and the work that you do, with not as a volunteer, right? You told me before that you volunteer in some of these programs. So that is amazing. I had felt it is a privilege for me to have this space of conversations because I'd learned so much about yourself and what shapes you today, and also into the future that you're creating.
Thank you so much, Maria. I love the conversation. I love the work you're doing supporting migrant women as well. Um, I'm always in for a good chat. We could keep going for hours. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. I love the way we shape this conversation. We just follow, the threads that we were getting, and I really, really enjoyed it.